Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Puppeteer has no future. Eat the string fruit. Chapter 86. Real-time points ranked 4th, in the copy where Zhou Tianhao was located. The 10th level of Hell, the Bull Pit Hell. Zhou Tianhao's team that came out of the spatial passage immediately looked around with a guarded expression. Zhou Tianhao said in a deep voice, "Everyone, be careful. When the 10th level of Hell begins, the difficulty will increase according to the magnitude. Maybe those monsters before didn't have the strength to endanger our lives. This will make you a little careless. But from this moment on, everyone must play 12. Because, at this moment, everyone in the hall of the martial arts hall must be focusing their eyes on us." Hear it here. All the members of the squad unconsciously stood up more upright. Yes, in the configuration of their squad. It's basically the fastest to beat the level. Now there should be many people in 4, 5, 7, who have finished their trials. Plus the bigwigs who were watching the battle in the hall of the martial arts hall. It is very likely that hundreds of thousands of pairs of eyes are watching their every move intently at this moment. At their age, how could it not care? Entering the Hidden Dragon Academy is already a sure thing for them. How to play handsome, the regiment is one of the next combat points that should be considered. Even Meng Feng, who was the most giggling in the squad on weekdays, had a serious face. "Help me see if my tie is ready. Are you special?" Several other people's eyes turned white. Now ask if it will be too late. The picture just called has long been seen by the people in the hall. Knock knock. Suddenly, there was a roar on the ground in the distance. Here it comes, monsters on this floor. Soon, the skin of the head was dark purple. It was as if a huge cow creature that had been dead for a long time quickly rushed towards Zhou Tianhao and several people. On the huge horns, it was also covered with dense poisonous needles. Several people probed the attributes of this monster. His face changed immediately. This. The attributes of monsters are indeed much higher. Quote, "Well, the captain is right, the first level of Hell is indeed a threshold. I suspect that monsters of this attribute, there is no one other than our squad who can fight against. Meng Feng, you're a little inflated. This gathering of heroes, there should still be very few people who can have the strength to resist this spiked ghost cow." Zhou Tianhao was speechless. "Don't talk about it. From now on, we want to be at our best. The 10th level of Hell is not our end." The harsh words shocked several people. Shouted in unison. Yes, these people, even in the legendary profession, are all outstanding slaughterers. But in front of Zhou Tianhao, he was very obedient. Because, the captain before their eyes. However, among the known participants in the trial competition in the 8th Xinjiang province, there is only a terrifying existence with a combat power that has exceeded 100 stars. Of course, that was before the war. Now that everyone in the hall of the martial arts hall already knows, any of Qin Yi's puppets may have a 100-star breaking combat power. A cyan chaotic air flow continued to circulate on Zhou Tianhao's body. Swing the turquoise spear sharply. The auxiliary profession behind him hurriedly put various buffs on it. The state of color wanders around the body. Rumble. Immediately Zhou Tianhao made an arrow, and the whole person's figure was like a cannonball towards the rushing cattle. Facing a human with such a strong breath, the spiked ghost cow also did not dare to be careless. The huge bull's head struggled forward. Poisonous needles shot out from the sky. But when these poisonous needles came into contact with Zhou Tianhao's cyan air flow, but they were all milled into powder. Zhou Tianhao's expression became even more solemn than just now. The damage of this poison needle is so high. His cyan airflow, although it is a professional awakening talent, but resisting harm still consumes his mental power. There has to be a quick fix. Vosh, there are a lot of poisonous needles. Quickly open the enchantment, Meng Feng. I see, it doesn't take time to cast spells. Meng Feng responded impatiently. I saw in front of his eyes, and I don't know when a large table covered in yellow cloth appeared. He also held a peach wood sword in his hand, constantly stirring it in the rice jar on the table. The spilled rice floated strangely in midair. Immediately, Meng Feng chanted the words in his mouth. The divine master kills, does not avoid the arrogant, first kills the evil spirit, and then cuts the night light. What god does not ambush, what ghost dares? Urgent as a command. The rice gradually turned into nothingness as these mantras were pronounced. A blue light curtain was formed. Only then did several people feel relieved. Although this Meng Feng's profession is very strange. It has a bit of a folk art meaning, and sometimes the moves performed can be related to the gods. But this azure light curtain, it can be said that it is his housekeeping skills. Outrageously high defense. Meng Feng also looked confident, turned his head and said to the person behind him. Wait until this wave of attacks is resisted, and then you will attack. After all, we are not like the captain, we have a strong individual defense. Everyone nodded. That's the best. Immediately, those poisonous needles touched the azure light curtain for a moment. It was evaporated into wisps of blue smoke by a strange energy. But Meng Feng's face turned pale at this time. No, this is too toxic. I'm kind of irresistible. What the? Before a few people could react. Bang! The crisp sound of glass breaking sounded. The azure light curtain directly disintegrated. Let's do our own thing. Meng Feng muttered helplessly. Quickly put up your finger. All over the body, dazzling golden light immediately shone. And use your body to dodge the poison needle as much as possible. And his teammates are also frequently 3.9 skills such as various flames and mist. But since there was no choice to dodge at first, so it's also a little hard to resist. Fortunately, they are all the best among this trio list. The 10th level of hell is extremely difficult to threaten their lives. Zhou Tianhao, who was fighting in the spiked ghost herd, was almost speechless. Dude said, the difficulty will soar at the beginning of the 10th layer. Still fantasizing about using one skill to resist the strongest wave of these monsters. Leave these thoughts behind for a moment. It is now imperative to dispose of these animals. After the battle, preach these guys. Zhou Tianhao's marksmanship was brilliant, carrying a cyan air flow to kill 7 in and 7 out of the herd. The armor on his body was completely soaked with splattered purple blood. Fortunately, the strongest means of the spiked ghost cow is those stingers. Although the few members of the squad did not fight as easily as the previous layers of hell. But it's still not in a hurry. After cooperating and fighting fiercely for about 10 minutes, the ground was full of corpses of spiked ghost cows. Tap da da. Zhou Tianhao stood on the cow corpses piled up like a hill. Purple blood continued to flow down his body. I'm like a god of war. His inner ecstasy. This ultimate melee combat strength is the most able to attract the attention of others. He could already imagine it at the moment. Those fans in the hall of the martial arts hall marveled at themselves. Wouldn't this wrist be too deliberate? Maybe it would be more natural to put it a little further down. And then this spear, the head of the spear should be better at the corpse of the monster. Captain, get ready to go. What are you still twisting on it? Suddenly, Meng Feng's voice interrupted Zhou Tianhao, who was still fine-tuning his movements. Ahem. Zhou Tianhao coughed twice in embarrassment. It's nothing, it seems to be highly toxic just now. Simple movement. How's your state doing? In the next second, Zhou Tianhao directly changed his words. Can't stay on this topic for too long. Otherwise, I will be seen to be sullen and how to command the squad. Oh, Meng Feng nodded. I didn't think much about it. Then he said, the state is okay. Less than 1/10 of the amount of blood deducted. This layer doesn't seem to be our limit. The rest of the squad also echoed. Yes, Captain, I estimate that our squad will not be in danger of life in the 11th layer of hell. Let's just make a plan to break through the 12 layers of hell. That's right, maybe the 12 layers of hell are a little difficult for us. When Zhou Tianhao heard this, he pondered. Only then did he speak. Let's look at the situation first, don't decide so early. The strength of the 10th layer of hell is estimated to be reverberating only by the most outstanding squad in the past. We've been able to get to this point, and we're definitely the best of the best. Of course, this one is somewhat unusual. Peng Zhengcheng, Xiao Yan and those people are very powerful new stars. If you can break through the 11th layer of hell, then it is relatively safe to get the title of the strongest squad. As for the 12th layer of hell, it is still necessary to see the battle situation of the first layer before deciding. No rush. Now restore the status first, and then go search for the remaining monsters. Several people nodded. Zhou Tianhao is very respected by them because of his powerful and always cold and mysterious personality. In general, for the advice of this captain, no one will object. So, a therapist in the crowd stepped forward. Picking up the staff, he released a dark cloud towards the sky. A little drizzle fell and landed on several people, so that everyone's health volume was slowly restored. The residual toxicity on the body is also gradually removed. And Zhou Tianhao, who had cyan air flow protection and only lost some mental power. He was carrying a spear and looking into the distance. The admiration for the captain in the hearts of several people was a little higher. This is the man they trust. Even during this short break, you have to keep thinking about your next strategic plan. Of course, what they don't know is, Zhou Tianhao was letting the drizzle wash away at the moment, and his heart was full of pride. This picture of rain washing away the blood of the enemy should be able to make thousands of girls fall for it. It is estimated that after this trial competition, many endorsements and invitations will pile up. Ahem, enjoy the feeling of thousands of people admiring and stars holding the moon. It's my strongest motivation to embark on the road of the strongest professional. In the hall of the martial arts hall, most of the trial practitioners who are still alive have all gathered here. Noisy exclamations filled everywhere. My God, the 17th layer of hell is also a little too terrifying. But after Qin Yi summoned the frost dragon, how can I think those monsters are nothing? Of course, you don't notice that when you watch a horror movie, when a strong person with superpowers appears in the movie, it is no longer a scary child. You seem to be saying that. Basically, all the voices of the discussion revolved around the Qin Yi squad. No way, Qin Yi and the puppet's combat power. It is no exaggeration to describe it as a ride in the dust among this class of professionals. Especially the domineering of the frost dragon, which fascinates thousands of girls off the screen. Wow, as soon as Qin Yi Big Brother raised his hand, countless thin lines were produced. Is this still a simple puppeteer? It seems that the combat power of the body is not weak. Nonsense, isn't it normal for my family Qin Yi's methods to be mysterious? I still think those dragon generals just now are cooler, that sword light. It's shocking. Quote, your taste is so unique, can it be said that you also use swords? I is a sword dancer. Quote, the screams came and went. Suddenly, a pure girl with a double ponytail glanced at the battle screen of Zhou Tianhao's team next to Qin Yi's screen. Chuckled, Zhou Tianhao, they actually broke into the 10th layer of hell. Immediately aroused the dissatisfaction of several people next to him. 063. If you break into the 10th layer, you will be the 10th layer, what does it matter to us? That is, now it is forbidden to discuss topics other than Qin Yi Big Brother. Those two women with Big Brother are really annoying. Obviously you don't have to do anything. I'll go up too. The double pony-tailed girl had a somewhat embarrassed expression. Also, Zhou Tianhao's team is the fastest in progress besides Qin Yi. But there is still a big gap. In terms of looks, there is no Qin Yi Zhengshou. As for the fight scenes, it was even more dimensionality reduction. The two are completely incomparable, and naturally do not attract much attention. The double pony-tailed girl thought for a while, and then removed the 3 words Zhou Tianhao printed on her chest, as well as many pins with small love hearts. This was originally the logo of Zhou Tianhao's fan support club. It doesn't seem to be used now. Duh, throw the pin away. The girl with 2 ponytails focused on the battle screen where Qin Yi was. Look, those dragons have used a new move. Oh, it looks good. It's like fireworks. The crowd behind also hurriedly rushed up. I want to see a clearer picture. One of them stepped directly on the pin of support that had fallen to the ground, making a cracking sound. It's just that in this noisy environment, it doesn't attract anyone's attention at all. Next to the main stand, Peng Yuan had already begun to contact his daughter at this moment. In a call with them. Then you hurry up and prepare, I will try to get you a chance to meet Qin Yi. Syllable. Immediately, hang up the call. Sha Zetian rolled his eyes. Your daughter is not above the top, and the top powerhouse of the non-great Sha kingdom will not marry. Even if the age gap is bigger, it doesn't hurt. Qin Yi's small fresh meat may not meet her ideals, right? Peng Yuan narrowed his eyes. How, Lao Sha, are you worried that my daughter is so good that Qin Yi will fall in love with her uncontrollably? HMPH, this peerless demon is destined to grow into a top powerhouse. This does not conflict with my daughter's view of choosing a mate. Bah, Sha Zetian took a bite directly. You don't look either, now in this hell full of dangers. Who is by Qin Yi's side? Zinline is already ahead of your daughter. I don't know how much, I think you still know the difficulty in retreat. Besides, the age of the two is also several years apart, and it is not suitable at all. Okay. Peng Yuan was directly annoyed when he heard this. The voices are all louder. What's wrong with how old you are? Now the world is more of this combination. Maybe Qin Yi still likes this kind of confidant sister. Ao Hai listened with black lines on his face. Why don't you whisper me? These two old immortals don't want their faces, right? But then again, they are like this. Yin Hai is not incomprehensible. The strength that Qin Yi has shown so far is really terrifying. The shield formed by the white thread. Let them understand. This guy's ontological combat strength is also extremely outrageous. That's the 16th layer, the powerful attack of the volcano hell monster. It was so easily resisted by Qin Yi. A puppeteer who can manipulate different kinds of terrifying puppet creatures is enough. This is still within everyone's understanding. But at the same time that the puppet is already powerful to the extreme. Why are your own combat capabilities still so exaggerated? Just the hand that was revealed just now, it is estimated that Zhou Tianhao is far inferior, right? Since sooner or later the daughter who grew up is splashed with water. Then it is better to take the initiative to find a good home for her. As a result, there was a picture of two moon-grade professionals competing for noisy here. The 17th layer of hell looks like it's going to be Western. It seems that this kid really has the potential to clear the level. Quote. The 17th level of hell, the stone-grinding hell. It is rumored that those who enter this layer of hell will be crushed into meat foam. Then it was reshaped into a human body and crushed again. Day and night, bear this crushed and endless pain. As soon as Qin Yi entered here, he had already replaced the Holy Sword Dragon General with a Frost Dragon. There is no negative effect of not extinguishing ghost fires. It's still a little easier to use the Frost Dragon. As hell deepens, the monsters get stronger and stronger. Creatures that can fly are not easily enclosed to death. Moreover, the freezing effect is also more able to fly kites of these monsters. Using his powerful mobility, Qin Yi controls the Frost Dragon and fights and retreats. Constant pulling. Try to form a situation of more fighting less at the same time. Boom, boom. Countless icicles descended from the sky to the head of the head, and the whole body was covered with muscles. Earthy yellow skinned cyclops. These cyclops kept waving the red stone pillars in their hands. Break the incoming icicles. However, these icicles are too many and dense. And even if it is broken, it will still shatter into ice slag, cutting their tough skin. Minus 1658. Minus 5795. Minus 2367. Minus 3345. Minus 7586. Qin Yi, who was sitting cross-legged at the head of the Frost Dragon, shook his head with a sigh. The HP and defense of these monsters are really high. Open black lens bracket Cyclops close black lens bracket. Grade. Normal monster. Grade. LV35. M. 49,855 49,855. 1955. Agility. 855. Spirit. 653. Endurance. 1836. Skills. Stone pillar crushing, skin strengthening, brute force swing, Saint Yao laser. As another power type monster. The amount of blood almost reached 50,000. It's all similar to the Holy Sword Dragon General. Of course, in other aspects, it is much weaker. For example, the mystery of the moves, and the combat body. If the Holy Sword Dragon is really released and will fight with the Cyclops, it is still not a problem to fight 3 or 4 by 1. The frequency of attacks is so high that these Cyclops can't bear it. Used a special move, Nourishment. I saw the eye on their forehead, and the black substance of the pupil directly diffused to the whites of the eyes. It became weird in an instant. Followed by, hot lasers shot out from the one-eyed sky towards the frost dragons in the sky. Collide with icicles that keep falling. Bang bang bang. In the stone grinding hell, the energy is constantly overflowing for a while. Minus 2635. Minus 2114. Minus 1268. Under the bombardment, some scattered lasers also bombarded the body of the frost dragon. Through the defense of the ice armor, it caused some damage. There was even a laser that struck towards the three of Qin. However, it was just a palm stretched out and pushed the void. A shield composed of countless thin white threads completely blocked the laser. As he continues to fight in hell, Qin's level has reached level 33. Open black lens bracket. Name, Qin. Close black lens bracket. Occupation, Dragon Line Master, Silver. Grade, LV33, 135,684, 1,398,800. M, 48,526, 48,526. J, 2,035. X, 2,122. Number, 3,130. J, 2,107. Number of controllable golems, 35. Combat power evaluation, 156 stars. Skills, Blue Dragon Physique, Dragon Man Form, Dragon Element, 1000 Line Puppet Manipulation, Damage Transfer, Fate Line. At this time, Qin not only had close to 50,000 blood. Moreover, none of the 4-bit attributes is lower than 2000. Plus a variety of high bonus thread fruit skills. If you let Qin fight against the Frost Dragon, it is still relatively easy for a person to hit a dozen heads now. Qin also discovered the pattern of his career growth curve. That's when you have just reached a grade, say silver level 20. At that time, the gap between the puppet and the ontology was the largest. After all, I had just learned the puppet making technique of that grade. And these puppets, as soon as they are manufactured, have the strength to crush almost all the living beings of the current grade. At that time, I estimated that I would fight a few frost dragons. And with the increase of the level, the combat capability of the body is naturally more and more exaggerated. By now, if you open the dragon form to fight to the death, 20 frost dragons Qin can definitely win. The specific value, I have not fought, it is not very clear. Therefore, none of these lasers alone can cause fatal damage to the frost dragon. In Qin's eyes, there is naturally no threat. In other words, with the strongest individual combat power of this terrorist force, it is close to it. Su Wanning and Sha Xinline didn't have to worry about safety at all. Congratulations on killing Cyclops and successfully gaining 55,536 experience. Congratulations on killing Cyclops and successfully gaining 54,889 experience. Congratulations on killing the Cyclops and successfully gaining 5,371 Qian Lihao 1 experience. Congratulations on killing the Cyclops and earning 22,261 points. Congratulations on killing Cyclops and earning 2,353 points. Congratulations on killing the Cyclops and earning 2,194 points. A lot of experience and points earning tips keep sounding. The trio's experience is still growing. Qin Big Brother, the speed of this upgrade is unreal. One copy can improve so much. Before I participated in the trial competition, I never dreamed of it. Su Wanning said excitedly. There seemed to be a twinkle in his eyes. Sha Xinline's temperament is slightly calmer, and she is also happy. Yes, come on, I really made the best decision in my life so far. When she said this, Sha Xinline looked at Qin with admiration. I silently recited it in my heart. It should also be the most important decision in the rest of life. In fact, let alone the experience they crave the most. Even if it is a guaranteed point from these monsters. The items that can be exchanged for are still a lot of money in terms of their family base. Even these two Nizi have gained so much, let alone Qin. The points are more than 3 times their points. And all the loot for killing monsters along the way was collected by Qin. Plus a huge amount of experience. It's a lot of money. And, as of now, the sun puppet has not been damaged. Of course, this is less important. After all, even at this moment, all the puppets in Qin's storage space are scrapped. It doesn't have much impact either. The cost is almost 100 million dragon coins. Compared to the harvest of this trip to the copy, sprinkle water. By the way, Qin, are you going to join the Hidden Dragon Academy after the trial is over? Sha Xinline suddenly asked. For the 3 of them, the points are 1,000 first. This requirement can be completely ignored. Qinyi big brother, there are so many Tianzhao in the Hidden Dragon Academy. There are also many hidden professionals. It must be perfect for you to shine. Su Wanning also looked at Qinyi nervously. She also wants to enter the Hidden Dragon Academy. But if Qinyi doesn't have this plan, I'm afraid the plan will have to change. Hidden Dragon Academy. Qinyi rubbed his chin. Then he spoke. I should go. It's not because of the so-called Tianzhao gathering. For me, the battle between peers is not very meaningful. However, I still value the resources of the Hidden Dragon Academy. A treasure trove of materials for all grades to move up. Those dungeons that are extremely profitable, as well as secret realms that are only controlled by the Great Sha Kingdom and are only opened at a specific time. It should be very beneficial for the improvement of strength. For Qinyi, what are those Tianzhao? The legendary professional he encountered when he was in Silver Maple City when he was wandering the Vampire Calamity quest. Xiao Yan and Zhu Xiaoming, which is not the seeded contestant of this trial competition, can be in front of the powerful ability of the line fruit. All were blown up. There was not a single moment of resistance. But, the path of the professional. Resources are an integral part. And extremely important. Let's just say that the black iron copy ticket that Su Wanning brought at that time played a key role in Qinyi's ability to quickly rise to level 20. Qinyi at that time, whether it was the number of puppets or the control distance. It's all far worse than it is now. The speed of leveling in the wild is definitely much slower than playing dungeons. And when completing the promotion and transfer task. Fortunately, the 1000-year-old Willow Essence also got it after some twists and turns. Even without Sha Xinline's one. Continue to brush the 1000-year-old Willow Demon, and there is also a high probability that it will burst out. In other words, there will be other people who receive the purchase information on the bulletin board. But the second stage of the Sacred Dragon Heart. This thing is too difficult to find, it is the kind that is difficult to buy even if you have money. In the final analysis, it is because Qinyi's profession is too strong, resulting in the task of promotion and transfer. In the end, if Sha Xinline hadn't used her father's connections. Found 1. Qinyi really has the possibility of getting stuck at Black Iron level 20 before the trial competition. In the end, he could only rely on the points obtained from this big competition to go to the trial mall to exchange the heart of the Holy Dragon to successfully advance to the silver rank. If that's really the case, this trial is much better than Qinyi, and he can also rely on the Death Knight and the Flame Saint Envoy to successfully obtain the title of first. However, it is absolutely impossible to clear the 18th level of Hell. This is followed by a lot of materials, equipment, points, experience. Also completely unrelated to Qinyi. From here it can be seen that the path of the professional. One step at a time, one step at a time. At some point, it is very likely that you will miss some important opportunities because you do not have enough strength. After Sha Xinline and Su Wanning heard Qinyi's intention, breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. They are all from the 8 Xinjiang provinces, and they are also participating in the trial competition here. Naturally, he also entered the Hidden Dragon Academy in Bajong province. That is to say, although in Nanjong unfortunately did not have the same window. But it can make up for this regret in the following days. Great, Qinyi big brother. Su Wanning jumped up excitedly, and her feet slipped. When she was about to fall, countless branches bloomed and caught her. Turned into a jungle healer naturally, he has the ability to manipulate more than a dozen vegetation. BGAJ, it's just that Su Wanning didn't expect to use her skills in the trial competition for the first time. It turned out to be because he almost slipped and slipped. After standing firmly, Su Wanning had to stick out her tongue in embarrassment. In short, let's clean up all the monsters in this layer of hell first. Qinyi responded with a smile. Enter an unfamiliar environment. It is naturally not a bad thing to be able to have some people who are already familiar. What's more, it's still two beautiful girls with different styles. Frost dragons roared across the crimson sky. As long as the trace of the one-eyed giant is found, it will be directly wiped out. About half an hour or so passed. Qinyi and the three were in midair. Look at the Cyclops leader who is besieged by countless ice attribute energy. Slowly fall. Rolled up puffs of smoke. Congratulations on killing the Cyclops leader and successfully gaining 155,536 experience. Congratulations on killing the Cyclops leader and earning 10,353 points. Open black lens bracket. Congratulations on obtaining the red ghost stone pillar 6. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Congratulations on getting the Cyclops heart 8. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Congratulations on getting the giant wrist. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Congratulations on getting laser goggles. Close black lens bracket. Death with the boss of stone grinding hell. In front of the three. A dark red gate with countless demon roaring patterns tattooed on it and a beautiful threshold appeared. Oh, Qin Yi looked interested. I didn't expect that this spatial passage to the last layer of hell is so special. Something. Su Wanning was also full of curiosity. Indeed, and this gate. I always feel good. Quote. It's kind of like the secret realm we encountered in the wild before, and the gate connecting demons that finally appeared. The smell from above makes me very uncomfortable. Sha Xinline nodded. I'm also a little uncomfortable. It's supposed to be just a passage. There should be no such mental shock effect. After a pause, Sha Xinline continued to speak. However, after all, it is the last layer of the trial competition. Under normal circumstances, it is impossible for a new professional to come here. It's understandable that it's a little different. According to the situation of fighting along the way, Sha Xinline deduced. In addition to them, even if this cohort of newcomers is much higher than the average. But the other teams, the strongest should be to break through to the 12th level of hell and reach the sky. They made it straight to the last level. What happened? There's no need to be weird. Qin Yi said indifferently. Whatever he is, he can only be turned into food for us. After all, until now not a single puppet has lost. Even if the 18th layer of hell is raised, there is no reason why it will not work. At this time, in midair, a scarlet text that exudes a thick resentment emerges. The 11th level of hell, Dao Mountain Hell. Several teenagers came here. If Qin Yi were here, he would surely recognize two old acquaintances. It was Xiao Yan and Zhu Xiaoming, who broke into the purgatory-level vampire Calamity Vice, been together in Silver Maple City. At this moment, the two have also completed their promotion and transfer duties. Profession from the original Surge Musketeer, as well as Ma Liang Painter. Became the Burning Gun Demon and the Ma Liang Court Painter. Finally reached the 11th floor. In the last level against that ghost cow boss, I still feel a little weak in my arm. Zhu Xiaoming complained. Xiao Yan smiled. Who told you not to draw something remotely, but insisted on drawing a mecha? Close combat with those monsters. Don't think about it. With your physique, is there any tolerance rate? If it weren't for the fact that the mecha just now had a lot of defense power attached, plus I rescued you. You will stay in hell and paint in the future. I see that the scenery here is very monotonous, and I need talents like you. Zhu Xiaoming touched his nose in embarrassment. Indeed, when the head was twitched during the battle, such a thing was drawn. It is mainly the battles of his profession, sometimes all inspired in critical moments. Just like a normal painter in everyday life. Sometimes inspiration comes, and the things drawn are not only extremely combative, but also particularly suitable for the current war situation. But if you don't play well, it's likely to be like just now. Put yourself in a dangerous situation. Even if it is the battle material of the face. The difference in combat power between the two is also very different. But having said that, if he were to draw some simple table stools, it would be stable every time. After all, in addition to inspiration, this thing also depends on the basic 4-dimensional attributes and drawing skills. That is, as the level increases, the upper and lower limits of his painting combat power will increase. Okay, Captain, Xiaoming nerve knife we are all used to, let's not mention him again. It's just that he's decaying. It's not the most outrageous to draw a mecha just to put on yourself. Last time in the Thunder Prisoner realm, when I fought that boss. I fought the boss to the point of exhaustion, and I was able to kill it with just one sword. This guy directly drew a beautiful woman. You say it's not angry. Several other teammates also teased. Damaging Zhu Xiaoming's living treasure has become an important means for the squad to adjust the atmosphere. When Zhu Xiaoming heard this, his face showed a look of disbelief. Ah, wrong, you just said that the charm skill that the beauty came with made that boss stunned. And then you killed you. Good fellow, you're really well informed. Whatever comes out of your mouth, it tastes. Zhang Pengrong's eyes widened. You're so sorry, my hands are almost covered in blood. That last knife cut through, so that the palm of the tiger cracked. It's killing Lao Su. If you have an offensive skill, can you have so many? Ha ha ha. These words caused laughter from the surrounding members. Zhu Xiaoming knew his own loss, and did not say much. Croak_W. At this moment, a group of winged frogs flew in the sky. Loudly chirped. It is the detection species drawn by Zhu Xiaoming just now. Hearing this chirp, everyone immediately became serious. A fighting stance was restored. The monster is coming, ready to fight. In the distance, a group of demons covered with blades. Facing the ground on all fours, he ran quickly towards several people in a strange posture. Zhu Xiaoming immediately took out a large brush that was 1 meter long. Painted in the air, while shouting, I'm inspired, I'm inspired. Soon, a huge tiger roaring in the mountains and forests, with thunder and light on its body, was drawn. And Xiao Yan next to him also lifted the spear wrapped in blazing flames. The sharp knife demon in the distance rushed over. 20 minutes later, the people in Xiao Yan's squad are basically half down. Fortunately, all the monsters in this layer of Dao Mountain Hell were cleaned up. And in front of everyone, a spatial passage to the next level of hell also appeared. Almost. Our squad's trial journey, let's stop here. Xiao Yan let out a long breath and slowly spoke. If you break through the 12 layers of hell again, you may be able to break through. But there may also be teammate deaths and injuries. It's not necessary. Coming to Japan is not worth risking for the benefit of the first layer. Okay, I think it's time to withdraw too. 11 layers of hell are already reaching the goal before we started the trial. Now I guess, do the other squads that can break through to the 11th floor say anything else? That's right, what if the hell is in the first place, what if Zhu Xiaoming, the second goods, plays abnormally? Zhu Xiaoming directly rolled his eyes. You guys don't look at your points. It's probably not as tall as me. The contribution of the trial competition is judged fairly, even if God is surrounded one by one, I am not willing to be mediocre all the time. And, wouldn't you be too confident? Quote, think we have a chance to win the title of the strongest squad in Bajong province. If nothing else, I know that there are 2 squads that can definitely break through to the 11th floor. Qin Yi and Zhou Tianhao them. Well, the last 2 sentences directly made the rest of the people bored. Zhou Tianhao, I know that his strength is indeed very strong. It is even known as the future pillar of Bajong province. But who is Qin Yi? That's it, Zhu Xiaoming, this won't be the person you drawn, right? But any legendary profession that is a little stronger in the same class will have some fame. I've never heard of this name, it's so unfamiliar. A squad that can pass the 11th floor of hell and say nothing else. There must be a peerless Tianzhao in the top 5 of this year's combat power, right? It is impossible to be nameless. Therefore, the family did not believe it. But at this moment, Xiao Yan nodded. Indeed, in my opinion, the strongest squad this year is none other than Qin Yi. That man, because it's terrible. After speaking, a trace of deep jealousy flashed in Xiao Yan's eyes. Qin Yi's figure resurfaced in his mind. At the time of the Vampire Calamity quest, it was the closest he had come to death since he became a professional. The invincible army of puppets. And the thin white line that spreads over the sky. I don't know if the man broke through to silver. With that terrifying potential, the promotion task must be ridiculously difficult. However, even if it is still black iron, Xiao Yan also believes that Qin Yi can win the title of the strongest squad. And the personal points won the first place. In his heart, even the professionals of the Great Xia Kingdom could not be stronger than Qin Yi. What the? Zhu Xiaoming's words cannot be believed. But Xiao Yan will not joke on this kind of issue. The strongest in the same class. In the absence of fighting each other. Unless it is a gap in combat power visible to the naked eye, such controversial words will not be said. Doesn't this mean that in the captain's heart, this Qin Yi is stronger than that Zhou Tianhao, whose combat power evaluation broke 100 stars, I don't know how much. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. Go to the hall and see this guy that even the captain is a little afraid of. With that, the group summoned the departing spatial passage. Step in. Disappeared from hell. Thanks for watching. Please Please like and subscribe.